Hello, my dear friends. Have you ever felt surprised to see your hair becoming thinner or shedding more than usual without knowing why? Millions of women over the age of 50 in the United States and Europe are facing this exact problem. And what surprises many people is that what you eat every day, especially the nuts you enjoy so much, could be the hidden culprit or the quiet savior for your hair. What I am about to share today is not rumor or hearsay. This information comes from in-depth research focused specifically on older women based on trusted scientific studies from leading universities in the United States and confirmed by medical experts. Together, we will explore 4 wonderful nuts that can help restore strength and thickness to your hair. But I will also reveal 4 common nuts that may be quietly sabotaging all your hair care efforts. The final dangerous nut I mention may truly surprise you because it is sitting in most American kitchens right now. Before we go deeper, take a moment to like this video and leave a comment with your age. Let us build a community of women who support and inspire one another through the changes of aging. Now, let us take a closer look at what is really happening to our hair. Let us begin with the nuts that can truly help your hair, starting with the 4th one on this list. Almonds are a nut that doctors in the United States often recommend when women come in worried about thinning or fragile hair. You might think almonds are just a simple snack, but inside them is something incredibly important for your scalp. These nuts contain a nutrient called biotin. It may sound technical, but think of biotin as a special kind of nourishment for the cells responsible for growing your hair. After the age of 50, our bodies no longer absorb nutrients as efficiently as before. Medical studies conducted at universities across the United States have shown that many women at our age are deficient in biotin without realizing it. Your hair follicles, the tiny pockets in your scalp where each hair grows, need biotin to function properly. Without enough of it, they slow down or stop producing strong, healthy hair. But here is what makes almonds truly special. They also contain vitamin E, which acts like a protective shield for your scalp. Think of it this way. If your scalp is fertile soil, vitamin E keeps that soil healthy so everything can grow well. A study frequently referenced by American doctors found that women who added vitamin E to their daily diet saw a noticeable improvement in hair thickness after just a few months. You do not need to eat an entire bag of almonds. A small handful each day, around 20 almonds, is what many nutrition experts in the United States recommend. You can sprinkle them over your morning oatmeal, add them to a salad, or simply keep a small container in your bag for an afternoon snack. The key here is consistency. Hair grows slowly, so you will not see changes overnight. But after weeks and months, many women notice their hair feels stronger and breaks less easily. Still, almonds are not the only helpful nut. The next one works in a completely different way, targeting an issue doctors frequently see in women our age. At number 3, we have walnuts. These are especially interesting because they address a problem that appears after menopause. You have likely heard of omega-3 fatty acids, usually associated with fish, but walnuts are one of the few nuts that contain meaningful amounts of them. Here is why this matters for your hair. As we age, especially after 50, inflammation becomes a bigger issue in the body. You may not feel it directly, but it happens beneath the surface, including on your scalp. An inflamed scalp is like trying to grow a garden in poor soil. Nothing thrives easily. The omega-3 fats in walnuts help calm that inflammation. Research from medical centers in the United States shows that women who increase omega-3 intake often notice improvements not only in hair health but also in how their scalp feels. Less itching, less irritation, and a better environment for hair growth. There is another reason walnuts are important for us. They contain copper, a mineral rarely talked about, yet essential for maintaining the natural structure and color of your hair. I am not saying walnuts prevent gray hair, which is mostly genetic, but copper helps keep the hair you have from becoming weak and brittle. Hair structure matters just as much as hair quantity. You want hair strong enough to style, to brush without breaking, to feel like your own. Many American doctors suggest eating about 7 to 10 walnut halves a few times a week. You can chop them into yogurt, bake them into healthy muffins, or eat them as they are. Some people even keep a small bag in the car for errands. The beauty of walnuts is that they support hair health from the inside, addressing root-level problems that topical treatments cannot reach. Still, as helpful as walnuts are, the next nut on the list is even more powerful, especially for the most common type of thinning hair in women over 50. Now we reach number 2, and this is where things become truly interesting. We are talking about Brazil nuts. If you have never tried them, they are larger than most nuts, with a rich buttery flavor, and they contain something essential for thyroid health. Please listen closely, because this connection to hair is something many women do not realize. The thyroid is a small gland in your neck that controls metabolism, energy, and yes, hair growth. Medical research from universities across the United States has found that thyroid issues are extremely common in women our age, and one of the earliest signs is hair thinning or shedding. The key nutrient here is selenium, a mineral your thyroid absolutely needs to function properly. Brazil nuts are one of the richest food sources of selenium available. In fact, just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts per day can provide enough selenium for your thyroid. What happens when your thyroid does not get enough selenium? It slows down, and when it slows down, everything else does too, including your hair growth cycle. Women often describe their hair as lifeless, dull, or shedding more than usual. American doctors frequently check thyroid hormone levels when women over 50 come in with hair complaints. Very often, they find the thyroid is underperforming. Now, there is something very important to understand about Brazil nuts. More is not better. They are extremely high in selenium, and too much can cause problems. The Food and Drug Administration recommends keeping selenium intake within safe limits. For Brazil nuts, that means no more than 1 to 3 nuts per day. You can eat them as a quick snack, chop 1 nut into a salad, or blend 1 into a morning smoothie. The goal is consistency with small amounts. Many women notice that after a few months of including Brazil nuts, their hair shedding slows down. That is often the first sign of improvement. Over time, they may see new growth, tiny baby hairs along the hairline or crown. Hair grows in cycles, so patience is necessary. But supporting thyroid function with selenium creates the right internal environment for hair growth. Still, there is one more nut that can help your hair, and this final one addresses a problem almost every woman over 50 faces, but rarely connects to hair health. The number 1 nut for hair growth after 50 is cashews. If this surprises you, you are not alone. Cashews often get overlooked, but they contain something your hair desperately needs right now, and that is zinc. Think of zinc as a builder for your body. It helps build and repair tissues, including your scalp and hair follicles. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at absorbing zinc from food. Zinc deficiency is far more common than most women realize. Studies often cited by American doctors show that low zinc levels are directly linked to hair shedding, especially the diffuse thinning seen across the entire scalp, which is the most common pattern in postmenopausal women. What makes this especially tricky is that zinc deficiency rarely causes obvious symptoms at first. You may feel slightly more tired, your sense of taste may be duller. Nothing screams check your zinc levels. Meanwhile, your hair quietly suffers. Hair follicles need zinc to move properly through their growth cycle. Without it, they get stuck in the resting phase. Resting follicles do not produce hair. Cashews provide a gentle, natural way to restore zinc levels. A 1/4 cup of cashews offers a meaningful amount of zinc, along with iron and magnesium that support overall health. Many American nutritionists recommend cashews as part of a balanced dietary approach for women our age. You can eat them roasted as a snack, blend them into a creamy vegetable sauce, or make cashew butter to spread on apple slices. Their smooth texture makes them easy to enjoy without feeling forced. Women who regularly add cashews often report that their hair begins to feel thicker and more elastic after a few months. Each strand becomes stronger, meaning less breakage when brushing or styling. Sometimes the goal is not growing more hair, but protecting what you already have, but this is extremely important to understand. While these 4 nuts can strongly support hair health, there are other nuts that may actually work against you. Most women have no idea they are causing harm. These dangerous nuts are sitting in kitchens across the United States right now, and one of them is especially concerning for reasons that may surprise you. Let me tell you about the first dangerous nut, number 4 on the warning list. This one surprises many women because it seems healthy. It is peanuts. Although peanuts are technically legumes, not tree nuts, they can create problems for hair health in ways rarely discussed. Before you think I am saying peanuts are terrible, let me explain the issue. Peanuts are highly susceptible to contamination with aflatoxin, a mold that grows on crops stored in warm, humid conditions. Medical research monitored by the Food and Drug Administration shows that aflatoxin is concerning because it can affect the liver. Here is how this relates to hair. Your liver processes nutrients, balances hormones, and filters toxins. When the liver is stressed, which is common in women who frequently consume aflatoxin-contaminated foods, it cannot function properly. Poor liver function makes hormone imbalances more likely, and hormonal balance is critical for hair health after menopause. American doctors often see women with unexplained hair loss who have underlying liver stress from multiple sources. Peanuts are rarely the sole cause, but daily consumption can contribute. The issue is not occasional peanuts, but frequent intake. Peanut butter every morning. Peanuts as daily snacks. Peanut sauces several times a week. These add up. Another concern with peanuts is that they are a common allergen. Even mild sensitivities without obvious allergic symptoms can trigger inflammation in the body. As we discussed earlier, inflammation on the scalp creates poor conditions for hair growth. If your body is constantly managing low-grade inflammation, energy and nutrients are diverted away from hair production. This does not mean you must never eat peanuts, but many American doctors recommend limiting them and choosing other nuts more often. If you eat peanuts, look for brands tested for aflatoxin and choose organic when possible. Pay attention to your body. Do you notice more hair shedding during weeks when you eat more peanuts? Your body may be telling you something, but peanuts are not the only concern. The next dangerous nut affects something essential for hair growth in a completely different way. The third dangerous nut often surprises almost everyone. It is pecans, especially the sugar-coated or candied pecans common during holidays. Pecans themselves are not terrible, but how they are usually eaten is the real problem. Most pecans in the American diet are covered in sugar, baked into pies, or mixed into desserts. The added sugar is the issue. Medical research across US universities shows a clear link between high sugar intake and hair loss, especially in women over 50. When you eat sugar, blood sugar spikes and insulin is released. Over time, frequent sugar intake can lead to insulin resistance, which is extremely common after menopause. This affects how the body handles hormones, especially androgens. Women do have small amounts of male hormones. When insulin resistance is present, these hormones can become more active, shrinking hair follicles around the crown and hairline. Pecans also contain high levels of omega-6 fats. In excess, omega-6 promotes inflammation, especially when not balanced with omega-3. The American diet already contains too much omega-6 from vegetable oils and processed foods. Adding large amounts of pecans worsens that imbalance. If you enjoy pecans, eat them plain, unsweetened, and in small amounts. Choose raw or dry roasted. Be honest about portion sizes. It is easy to eat a large handful without noticing. The second dangerous nut is cashews. Yes, the same nut praised earlier can become problematic when overconsumed. Cashews contain phytic acid, sometimes called an antinutrient, because it binds minerals like zinc, iron, and calcium, preventing absorption. In moderation, this is not an issue, but when eaten in large amounts daily, phytic acid can cancel out the very minerals your hair needs. Cashews are also never truly raw. They must be heat processed to remove toxins. Many commercial cashews contain added sodium, oils, and sometimes sugar. Excess sodium affects circulation, and good blood flow is essential for delivering nutrients to hair follicles. If you eat cashews, choose unsalted, minimally processed varieties. Limit portions to a small handful a few times a week. The final dangerous nut is macadamia nuts. They are often promoted as luxurious and healthy, but they can harm hair health if eaten carelessly. Macadamias are extremely high in fat and calories. 1 ounce contains over 200 calories and more than 20 grams of fat. Weight management affects hormone balance, which affects hair. More concerning is their omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, one of the worst among commonly eaten nuts. Excess omega-6 fuels inflammation, including scalp inflammation. Macadamias can also be difficult to digest, especially as digestion weakens with age. Poor digestion means poor nutrient absorption, including nutrients needed for hair. The Food and Drug Administration and nutrition experts emphasize portion control for high-fat foods. Macadamias are easy to overeat. 5 or 6 nuts should be the maximum, enjoyed occasionally, not daily. Never eat them straight from the container. Balance omega-6 intake from all foods. Now that you know which nuts help and which require caution, remember this. Hair health after 50 is not about one magic food or one food to avoid. It is about overall patterns, day after day. Almonds, walnuts, Brazil nuts, and cashews in moderation can support hair health when eaten consistently, with proper portions, alongside hydration, protein, stress management, and overall well-being.